Hi, my beautiful Saggies. How we doing today? All right, we're going to be doing your weekly from the 20th to the 26th. All right, we're going to be using the Yin Yang Insights. They should come with a trigger warning, so you are warned. All right, take what resonates, leave the rest. If it's not your story, don't make it fit. All right. What else was I going to say? I don't know. I've been having brain farts all night. I don't know what's going on with me today. All right. It's going to be for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. Make sure to check out your other placements. Kind of see a broader picture of everything that's going on. All right. What do we have going on for the beautiful Sagittarius? 1 hit the floor, so we're going to grab that. 2 hit the floor. Self-care, separation, and thoughts. So you might be in a mood for self-care, self-love. I feel like maybe you might be depleted energy-wise, and this could be due to some kind of separation. So maybe you've had a breakup or a split. Could be a separation from a job. And, maybe you're feeling trapped within your own thoughts. And there's your trigger warning, I do have twin flame behind that, but I don't believe in twin flames, so you take that how it resonates. But I feel like it could be something that you thought was spiritual, but kind of might not be. And then we have summer on the bottom. So it could be something that's happening this summer. It could be something that changes up next summer. So definitely in this focus of, I feel like, just kind of maybe taking a break, kind of cleansing out your energy, kind of focusing on yourself at the moment, especially if you have some kind of separation. Maybe you feel like it was something that you truly wanted and you're going through kind of that grief of a situation and it puts you a lot in your head, kind of like, why doesn't this work out? Or why can it be this way type of energy? You thought things could work, be an even partnership, but really I think you need to start focusing on your own confidence. Maybe being a wands type of energy. And I feel like that's kind of what that self-care is telling you. Maybe you need to show yourself a little bit love. And don't let the thoughts or the ideas that you have make you feel trapped. All right. What do we have going on for our beautiful Saggies this week? What is it they need to know? Why am I dropping everything today? So we got 4 of Wands. So feeling like you can't celebrate. Maybe just kind of focusing on your money right now with that King of Pentacles. Ooh. That wanted to come out, so we're going to take it. I feel like prayer is going to be your best friend right now. Maybe there is some kind of situation that you feel like, I feel like it's going to tip more in your balance. And I feel like if this is a legal situation, I feel like things are going to kind of go in your favor. But I do feel like you need to push through some of that grief for whatever it is. Maybe allow yourself to kind of sit back and nurture yourself. And I feel like really just kind of like focus on your own value right now. All right, give me 2 more. It might not want to give me 2 more. I feel like you're not celebrating with that King of Pentacles. I don't really feel like that King of Pentacles is you. I feel like this might have been a union that broke up and you feel like maybe that person was like your solid structure, and that's kind of collapsing and there's some movement forward on. And I feel like it's maybe your thought process is that they're building somewhere else or they're passionate somewhere else. This is a weird read, guys. I don't know. I think whoever's listening to this, some kind of Sagittarius went through some stuff. I feel like whatever soulmate, friends, lover, whatever that was, kind of put you in this state of the wounded warrior is normally what the Nine of Wands is, but I feel like it's more about lack of energy. It's like you're kind of trudging through it when really, like, secretly you're burning for just kind of some compassion or love to being open. And both the King of Cups can be secretive, and so can the High Priestess. So I feel like whatever you were dealing with has been in secret, and this might be coming to light in some way, shape, or form. I feel like if you're dealing with somebody that celebrated somewhere else, that it's time to move on. It's definitely a weird read, guys. You know, this could be you just not really looking at opportunities to push forward with that King of Pentacles to build something solid. But I feel like it's more about a union breaking and separating and kind of just pushing forward with different foundations. I feel like maybe there was some kind of third-party energy that kind of played a role, because that Ace of Wands could be just like playing around, kind of being a player, just kind of in and out type of energy, you know? And this could be surrounding some kind of like once was a happy home life, but really it's kind of like a beginning, an end, and a beginning into something new. You know, I think you're going to have to put work in when it comes to that Eight of Pentacles, especially when you're dealing with heartbreak, grief, or anything along that. And a lot of that has to do with taking care of yourself. What's your advice? I know that didn't make any sense. I don't think it made sense. I think it's about where you put your energy and your effort. It's like, I want to be happy, but how can I be happy when there's deceptive energy around me? You know, how do I learn how to be confident and move forward? You know, how do I push past the emotions when it comes to somebody that you feel like was playing chess with your heart type of energy? And I feel like your advice is you decide where you give your energy to with that Six of Pentacles. You know, do you want to allow yourself to keep continuously being stuck in your own mind? Or do you want to be nurturing to yourself and creative and allow that energy to flow? So it's really about you. So I feel like you're kind of like on the side of two different coins. It's like, I want to protect my energy, but at the same time, I feel like I'm a little trapped. And a lot of it has to do with maybe a divorce or a breakup or even a separation from a job or even some kind of loss that you've been dealing with. And you know, a lot of that doesn't really put you in a mood to celebrate. Maybe you're just solely focused on your money and pushing forward. And I really don't feel like this Three of Cups and the Ace of Wands energy is about you. I think it's the situations that you're dealing with, you know, and the things that you want is you want that happy home, that happy life, that the wishes, the dreams. But in order to do that, I feel like you need to change kind of the cycle that you're in. All right, I hope that made sense, but that's what I have for you this week. Kind of a rough week. All right, we're going to see more about love. This could be career too. So it's a little bit of mix of both, but let's see what's going on for you beautiful Sagittarius. Hopefully something good. Let's give you something good. All right. We have nursery room. Could be having a baby. All right. Innocence and curiosity. View challenges through the innocent eyes of children to break through the current limits. So you might have to like take a step back and look at everything in a more innocent view instead of, you know, us adults are kind of like stuck in our ways and we see things in certain ways. So maybe changing of perspective might be needing. Then we have coffee maker, awakening energy and flow. So I feel like it's telling you the more you kind of look at it as an innocent approach, kind of more in a different field of vision, the more awake and you are, the more you allow that energy to kind of flow through you. And then we have fence, divides, protect, and distant. And maybe you do need to take some distance from the situation and kind of step back. It's kind of like one of those things, if it's a separation and you have things of a specific person, like maybe you need to pack them away and kind of deal with it a little bit at a time type of energy. And it's also kind of like the glitter theory. If you don't know what the glitter theory is, look it up. It's kind of an interesting theory. And then on the bottom, we have flute glasses. And I really like that. It's about learning how to be more joyous and loving. And it's also being successful, especially with whatever you're going with now. You know, but this might be something that does happen around summertime, probably maybe next year. I know you don't want to hear that, but I feel like this is kind of like a long process. All right. What do we have going on for our beautiful Saggies? What do they need to hear? I'm not going to take all that. All right. Anything else? It says your standards are not too high, so maybe you need to set standards that are incredibly high, and it's about having boundaries and healthier expectations, especially when it comes to relationships or breakups or just new things in general. Your next love gets a healthier you. I feel like the more work you put in, the more healthier you become, and you'll be surprised what that kind of brings in. They're a trigger, not a flame. And I really like that because you did see twin flames on there. And like I said, I don't believe in twin flames. But I feel like when you're with somebody that kind of triggers you, it might not be the healthiest thing. It's the ones that make you feel like you can work through those triggers and do it supportingly. Then that's kind of when you know. All right. And I do want you to know that you're healing in ways that you don't even see. So keep putting that work in. And I love how that is lit up. It's like your gut is lit. I don't know. It's lit in a word. No. It's like lighting up. It's like being in that Empress energy. Knowing that I feel like you focus on your creative side, you focus on your creative endeavors, the more you heal, and you're not really realizing that you're healing as much as you actually are. So definitely beautiful energy for whatever you're going through. I do apologize, and I hope it does get better. So love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.